Steve here. Welcome to the Healthy Objectivist. Oh yeah. Gimmick, trick, troll. I don't know, take it as you wish, but this is, the intention is positive, it is grand, it is grandiose, some may say, but let's just say from my end, it is well intended, okay? Even though sometimes I will challenge, oh my goodness, the right of challenging some of the thoughts of people's other objectivist content. Oh, it's sacrilege. Well, come on. We should be encouraging some challenges to our concept formation. So today you've clicked on it, Lexicon. Still not sure what I'm going to call this episode. You know it before I do. Yeah. So yeah, something with lexicon in it. This is a brand new phone that I'm recording on. So let's see how I go. And yesterday my phone overheated and it stopped my recording. So this is a pre-prepared or pre-practiced video. So all right, here we go. So many an objectivist, some sympathize with Jordan Peterson. Yeah. And considering my first, say, 4 videos were called, the channel before was called the Christian Objectivist, even more gimmicky and whatever you want to call it, right? Oh, it's bouncing a bit. So with Jordan Peterson, one of the things that made me think about lexicon issues is where, say, Jordan Brook comes from, the way he comes at ethics versus Jordan Peterson. That's where the motivation of calling this discussion a lexicon issue is just that. They're coming at it, they as in Jordan Brook always uses they, and the reason why I would probably sympathise more with Jordan Peterson is that who is they? That's right. Even when you say they, Jordan Peterson would, it is bouncing a bit, Jordan Peterson would say, like, who's they? Like I have to stop using like. So, who's they? Jordan Brook and objectivists in general, they are the collectivists, the Plato-Kantians. I could just sense this bouncing. Apologies. I hope the sound's coming through. Right. I'll be on a better road soon, so not a good start in my practice run before. I'm just bouncing around together with my images. So the collectivists versus the individualists, the laissez-faire capitalists, the objectivists like us, fine. But who do they really know that they are collectivists? They are Marxists, they are communists, they are any other ism. Come on, let's not be dogmatic with even objectivism. We understand the virtues of selfishness, rational self-interest, and Jordan Peterson acknowledges such, but we need to understand philosophically our ideological presupposition that objectivists going over the forest type thing, where Jordan Peterson is sort of in the forest with sometimes in a tent, and he sometimes at the tree right there in front of his face. So that's sort of where conceptually we're coming at it. We, and who's we? Yeah, objectivists, right? So where this poo-pooing of Jordan Peterson is, where, for the likes of Yaron Brook saying that Jordan Peterson is a Kantian, Plato Kantian sort of, because he talks about the Bible and the importance of biblical archetypes and how we got here, and I support that we need to acknowledge as objectivists. How could you be an objectivist when you used to call yourself a Christian objectivist? Yeah, I get it. It's a bit of a metaphysical gnome. I get it, but we can't ignore how we got here. And in a way, we can't. Some of the stories that survive to this day, the better road is coming. Some of the archetypes that survive to this day and got us to this point, or even the point of our integration as part of DIM, the DIM hypothesis, bringing in Leonard Peikoff, even with those 50 or 70 years of integration that we had in going back into, getting into a disintegration state, or many would say, and I would support, we're getting into the M's, maybe not M1, but maybe M2. Okay, that's that sort of thought in the back of my mind as part of bringing out what I'm trying to unpack and then repack. So let's not be too hasty in dismissing Jordan Peterson in the objectivist space. And lexicon issues are the main issue, I believe. It's not the ideological presuppositions. Ayn Rand correctly used selfishness, rational self-interest, an extension, the virtue of being selfish. I think even the Bible, I was going to say, Freudian slip, even the dictionary back in her day, I think selfishness was a bit more accurately, differently, is more accurate, but more accurately defined, which in today's terms would be different, but in today's terms, selfishness, I believe it has a little extension on the end with a comma. I heard on, this is going off Yaron Brook's, one of his recent podcasts, so I'm just referencing that. So the way Ayn Rand brought in the virtual selfishness and the definition of was properly used, but selfishness has morphed into a negative connotation, code for manipulating people, you're selfish, that sort of thing. And that's where the lexicon issues are. And yes, Jordan Peterson references reciprocity, but also objectivists, and also, Yaron Brook. Let's use Yaron Brook as the at the top of the apex currently with objectivist personalities out there. There's an acknowledgement there, right? I went like that because where was I? So I'm getting a phone call. Hopefully I don't get kicked off. Rational self-interest, right? So reciprocity. Sorry, I got distracted by my phone call. apologies. So reciprocity is important. So in amongst the ideological presuppositions, we got say Jordan Peterson here, objectivists using a namesake of Yaron Brook is over here, and sort of it's a bit like, you know, the whole, they join in a little bit like that, and the hole inside the, like that joining like that in there is the acknowledgement of you need to function in your society, in your community group. Hopefully you found a great community group. Sorry for putting my finger in your face. That's where the camera is, and I had to get rid of that bloody notification to not distract me any further. So at least we have part of a lexicon in selfishness is interrelating, is acknowledged with the Jordan Peterson Kantian Plato type ideological presupposition, apparently so, as Yaron Brook would say, and the presupposition, the ideological presupposition of an objectivist would say, you know, you are acting in your self-interest, and part of acting in your self-interest is reciprocity, and part of reciprocity is sacrifice. Lexicon issue. Being objectivists, we're just going to go, whoa, fuck, sacrifice. Come on, we're better than that. You got to know how the rest of the non-objectivist universe is using that. Sacrifice. In certain ways, you are sacrificing for your self-interest, for your rational self-interest. And economically speaking, even morally / ethically, you are sacrificing it in some way. As another concept to bring in, holding back on what's the word where you don't want to eat the jelly bean now, but if you eat it later, you get 2 jelly beans. Gratification, withholding gratification, delayed gratification. Got it. See the unpacking, how the live. This is never going to be edited. How a person unpacks and repacks. This is how a person unpacks and repacks. And if it was more polished, if I was to present like Yaron presents, he's not too prepared, but this is early days for me in this sort of content, so this is what you're going to get. Anyway, so that delayed gratification has a extended concept in there in low time preference. Sometimes there's a low time preference, as delaying gratification for future benefit is a type of sacrifice. You're sacrificing a high time preference thing of spending $1,000 on a jacket. I don't know. Versus putting that $1,000 into Bitcoin. Oh no, not Bitcoin. What are you talking about? You go out a few times. I feel good in this jacket. The novelty is gone. But maybe in 2 years, Bitcoin is worth 200k. Woo! You made 10 times your money going on today, around the 20k-ish of Bitcoin price. Anyway, so just illustrating, not the best syllogism or analogy on that delayed gratification, which is in economic terms low time preference, high time preference. In the Austrian School of Economics, with the delayed gratification part, that's Jordan Peterson's side, rational self-interest side. You're making a decision using your rational thought to make a decision on Bitcoin. Oh, don't do Bitcoin, put it in bonds, and then you can make that $1,000 go into $1,100 in 2 years. I don't know. Maybe that's a better choice than buying that $1,000 jacket. So Jordan Peterson is coming from the personality side. Jordan Brock is coming from the more ideological, the bird over the forest side versus the tent, amongst the trees with the Jordan. And that's where we have the conundrum, the false dichotomy of using sacrifice versus rational self-interest. And we like to manipulate language for our ideological presupposition. Let's not jump at using Jordan Peterson's example today, because he's got some profound thoughts, even though he may be misguided. Maybe he is. But there's a lot of intense thought that is coming our way from that popular space. Maybe there are some better defined ways of why we have these lexicon issues, which I believe are some of the issues which are designed to manipulate versus extend our ideological presupposition to the world. Objectivist. Don't be a 35-year-old like me. That was so obnoxious. This new objectivist going to objectivist meetups and this and that, and then you're pushing obnoxiously pushing objectivist ideological presuppositions onto people, and they're thinking you're obnoxious. Yeah, and yes, I do agree with. I know with Jordan Brook's thoughts on don't be obnoxious in how you portray, how you bring about your stance, your ethical stance on the world. Let's speak some reason without mentioning objectivism. Maybe you'll get far, like Alex Epstein. And maybe I'll get far with my shtick. Alex Epstein, he's got the whole energy thing. Well done, good work. I'd like to, this is bringing up the rear of today's recording, today's video, today's episode. With my health shtick, the Healthy Objectivist. Each and every episode I'll bring in a certain health thing. Today's thing on health. What was I going to mention? Germ theory. Needs to be either rethought, scrunched up, unpacked, repacked to see what the real go is. Policy-wise, so health policy-wise, public policy-wise, even individual ethics-wise, like imagine you're outside, you're going for a run and you got your mask on. Holy shit. Or people that are swimming with the mask on. Woo. That's the part where personal policy on thoughts, fears. Another Jordan Peterson thing to bring in to suggest that maybe you shouldn't be fully dismissed. You need to have the likes of Jordan Peterson in the weeds of the human psyche to give the objectivist even a handle on the weeds, not the bird flying over the forest. Right? So regarding that whole explosion that it just blew up someone's mind like germ theory, but it's basically nearly an axiom, right? Yeah, nearly an axiom. A theory is just one step away from an axiom, an established fact, like 2 and 2 are 4. Oh my goodness! And then you get 2 and 4 isn't 4. Heaps of that crowd out there. So there's an axiom, fact. Then you got the theory, hypothesis, notion, idea. So you get the steps. So we have germ theory. It's almost an established fact. Oh boy, if germ theory becomes an established fact, we're stuffed. We will be stuffed. And the reason why I challenge, why we need to rethink germ theory is that things aren't adding up. I've put a bet out there in the past. If anyone can sneeze, cough, spit, kiss me, hopefully, 25-year-old chick, give me a good pash. If they can give me COVID, there's $1 million. There's $1 million in it for you. With serious money, well, serious for me anyway. And I don't have $1 million, but I'll raise it. I want to prove to myself that germ theory is robust. So with serious money, you need to establish that I don't have COVID before hopefully a pash from a 25-year-old chick. Sneeze, cough. There needs to be a test that I don't have COVID before that event, that test, the start of the $1 million bet. That person needs to have COVID 48 hours, say, before hopefully a patch from a 25-year-old chick, and cough, sneeze, and all that, and then a test. 7 days after, 3 days after, take your pick. Also a test. Really, with the seriousness of that sort of bet, you really need to be isolated, but that won't come, will it? Another challenge to germ theory. Only when it comes to viruses, that's where the germ theory part needs to be challenged. So not germ theory as a whole. Don't write me off as a quack. So that's where it's at. There's institutions. If an institution can be involved, let's raise the stakes to $1 billion. $1 billion. Yeah, $1 billion. So that's today's health shtick as part of the healthy objectivist gimmick. No, coming from here, it's no gimmick. Okay, so that's today's challenge for the lexicon issues that we have amongst the different camps, apparent camps, but we're all trying to understand the human psyche in the weeds or in the air. Let's continue the discussion. Okay, that's it for now. I can feel it in my bones. That was a good effort by me. That's what you get for a try, and then you get this, even amongst the jiggles earlier and all that. I get it. Okay, I was signing off and I'm keeping on talking. Right, I'm signing off. Bye-bye.